so we're looking at lesson 2 and we're solving equations. So looking at the first set, we're viewing the preservation of equality. So when we're doing algebraic questions, whatever is on this side of the equal sign needs to remain equal with this side. Okay, so if whatever I do to this side, if I take 2 away, well, then I have to take 2 away from the other side because they're both needing to always be equal to each other and in balance. So I'm going to do just that. I'm wanting to isolate this x by itself, so I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. And so now this is going to be equal to 12, and I have 4x here. Now this is multiplication. To undo multiplication, I need to do division. So I'm going to divide by 4, and then I'm remaining x on this side because these cancel out and there's 1, and 1 times x is x. And then 12 divided by 4 is 3. Okay, and then on this side, now there's 2 ways to do this. I am just noticing, again, we're preserving both sides, that I'm multiplying this whole entire thing by 10. So I can just go straight to dividing by 10. And I'm going to divide this side by 10. So now I have 18 on this side and x plus 4 on this side. So I need to get rid of this plus 4 here. So I'm going to subtract 4. And I'm going to subtract 4. And this is equal to 14 now. And so x is equal to 14. And if I wanted to check this to make sure that I did everything right, I would go 10 and I put 14 inside the brackets, plus 4 equals 180. And if I add what's in the brackets first, this is 18 times 10, which we know is equal to 180. So this is really, if we're preserving equality, this side is equal to 180, and this side is equal to 180, and that's what we're saying. All right, the answer here will either be in fractions or decimals. So you make that choice, and I'll show you how we make that choice. All right, so I'm going to start by subtracting 2 again on both sides. So this is 13, and this is 3x. Now I'm going to divide both sides by 3, and now this is equal to, now as a fraction, this is equal to 13 over 3, and in lowest form is 4 and 1 over 3 as a mixed number, right? Now as a decimal, if I were to divide 3 into 13, I end up with 4 decimal 3, 3, 3 repeating, right? So it's better for me to leave it in the fraction form. So I would leave this in the fraction form. And then I could substitute it back in. Here, again, this is kind of similar to the same problem. I'm going to divide, actually this one, because 10 doesn't divide evenly into 18, I'm going to first multiply 10 inside. So this is 10x plus 40 equals 18. And so now I'm going to subtract 40, and I'm going to subtract 40 over here. Okay, and if I have 18 minus 40, 40 is negative, right? So, whoopsies, 40, right? And you're minus the 18, and that is going to be, this one is bigger, so it's going to be a negative number. And now I'm going to divide that by 10 and 10, and x is going to be equal to, and now this is an even number, right? So I don't have to round it or anything. So if you're going to have to round it or anything, you're going to leave it in the fraction form. If it's coming out without you having to round anything, then leave it in the decimal form. Okay, I've already done that. And solving equations with 2 operations. So I just wanted to share, I don't need to do this one because we've already done it. But if we look at this one over here, I have, I'm starting with a fraction. Okay, so I just wanted to do one of these. Now, okay, so the first thing I'm still going to try to isolate m. I want m to be by itself. So I'm going to add 5 to both sides. Okay, so this is going to be equal to 40. And now this side is equal to m over -2. Now, this fraction, I'm going to write it over here, remember, can be written as division. So this would be m divided by -2. So to undo this, I would multiply by its opposite, so which is multiplication. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. Not just by 2, by -2, so that they cancel each other out. So this would become a positive one. Otherwise, I'd be making this negative m, right, which we don't want. So that has to be exactly the same. All right. And I'm left with m here. And this is now equal to -80. Okay, and then if I put -80 back in here, this, I'm going to do it over here, -80 divided by -2 is 40, plus -5 is going to be equal to 35. All right, so that's it. There is some work for you to do, and then just make sure you're coming to the help session if any of this